November 9th, 1984, Miami Vice introduces the world to Bruce Willis, future action hero, one-time rock star, and legendary pitchman for Seagram's Golden Wine Coolers, a product that turned out to have a considerably shorter shelf life than Willis's career. Great commercials, though. We've reached episode 7 of Miami Vice, No Exit, which was written by Maurice Hurley, who penned a good chunk of these early episodes before moving on to write and produce Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, remember a couple episodes back, we looked at an episode that was directed by Paul Michael Glaser, aka Starsky from Starsky and Hutch. Yeah, today's episode was directed by David Soul, aka Hutch from Starsky and Hutch. And it is a very good one, so let's dive right in. The Vice Squad is trying to take down a brutal and arrogant arms dealer named Tony Amato, played by Willis in his first credited screen appearance. 1980s Bruce Willis is a very different creature from the Bruce Willis who's been omnipresent on movie screens since 1988's Die Hard, and not just because he used to have hair. Soon after this episode aired, Willis would rise to fame as snarky detective David Addison on Mood Lighting, and he'd have a top 10 radio hit with his cover of the Motown classic Respect Yourself. And, of course, there were those wine cooler commercials. If you missed this phase of Willis's career, after you're done watching this, go ahead and type Seagram's Wine Coolers into that YouTube search box up there. You'll be glad you did. Anyway, Tony Amato is a thoroughly despicable character. Apart from being, an arms dealer, he beats and berates his wife, Rita. Rita is played by Catherine Borowitz, who's married to acclaimed actor John Turturro, who will show up on a Miami Vice episode later this season. If you're a working actor today, and you launched your career at some point in the 80s, odds are very, very good you got your start on Miami Vice. Crockett and Tubbs plant listening devices all around Amato's lavish waterfront home and keep him under constant surveillance from Crockett's boat in the harbor. From listening in on phone conversations, Crockett finds out about Amato's abuse of Rita, and also that Rita is thinking of hiring a hitman to kill her husband. Upon learning that Amato is trying to broker a sale of stolen Stinger missiles, Tubbs impersonates the prospective buyer and worms his way into Amato's good graces. He then has far too much fun firing off Stinger missiles with Amato and his henchmen, who include famed percussionist Cody Mundy of King Creole and the Coconuts. Things are complicated by the FBI, which has a vested interest in Amato. Crockett deals with the FBI interference in the same way he deals with all personal setbacks, i.e. he tries to feed the FBI agents to his alligator. Elvis will get gradually phased out of the show over the seasons, but in these early episodes it is bonkers the number of times somebody almost gets eaten by that damn gator. Crockett poses as a hitman and meets with Rita, who tells him all about her many efforts to escape from Amato. Crockett reveals his identity and urges her to return to Amato just long enough for Vice to bust him. He promises to protect her, but this is Miami Vice, so this will not end well. And indeed, after Amato's arrest, a certain unnamed 3-letter agency, who is almost certainly the CIA, swoops in and frees him from custody. It turns out they've been using him as a conduit to facilitate certain activities that they're doing in Central and South America. Horrified by her husband's release, Rita shows up at the courthouse and shoots him. We get a very classic Miami Vice ending, where something awful happens, and then there's a freeze frame, usually with the audio continuing a little bit over the frozen image before it rolls to credits. This is obviously a very dated technique that you will not see much on television these days, if at all, but it was one of Miami Vice's distinct visual signatures. Music in this episode includes soul singers Teddy Pendergrass's Stay With Me, which plays while Crockett keeps silent surveillance over Rita in Amato's home, and I Don't Care Anymore by Phil Collins, which plays while Vice is busting Amato. This is a pretty terrific episode, and that's largely due to Willis, who manages to make Amato brutal, loathsome, and genuinely scary. Willis's signature bravado and charm comes across as borderline psychotic here, which is a great choice for the character. It makes it a 4-Flamingo episode easily. So Miami Vice is really on a hot streak here. Let's see if it can keep this momentum up through the next episode, in which, yeah, I gotta tell you, I don't know anything about this episode. I have a vague memory of a lot of boat races, which really probably doesn't bode too well, but who knows, it could be a hidden gem that I've somehow forgotten entirely about. Be sure to hit subscribe and we will explore it together next time. Until then, take care and thank you for joining me. Goodbye.